I may have paid an arm and a leg for this, but in the end, I got the result I wanted. Nothing of Ningguang's could ever be overinflated. I'm far from the only buyer who believes that owned by Ningguang is worth paying a premium for. So how much I make just depends on how many people are even bigger fans of Ningguang than I am.
Today wasn't my day. Didn't manage to snag much. There were too many bidders, and they all seemed like experts to me. I guess I'll just have to wait for the next auction.
Huh? You want to know why I paid so much? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Because the previous owner was Lady Ningguang. Sure, the item may look pretty ordinary, but that's probably just because I'm not a connoisseur, so I don't know how to appreciate it. But I figured I'd buy it first, then go get it appraised by an expert. Then I'll be rich.
Well, did you find the answer yet? That's certainly part of it, but every bidder will have noticed that none of these items have a particularly high going rate on the market in and of themselves. Despite this, they were all willing to pay very dearly for them. I wonder, is faith in me really the only factor in their appraisal of the item's value? You'll see shortly. The one who spent the most money will surely be the quickest to realize. If all I wanted to do was make some quick mora by exploiting their blind faith in me, I have a million more effective ways of achieving that than hosting an auction. Every participant in this auction was handpicked by me, based on certain intelligence.
Lady Ningguang, something doesn't seem quite right with the items from today's auction. As unlikely as this sounds, and please forgive me for even bringing it up, but I had to ask. You weren't selling counterfeits today, were you?
Counterfeits? Absolutely not. What motive would anyone have for making copies of things like these? They are simply ordinary items, and there was no coercion or enticement during the auction. Every bid was voluntary.
Because we trusted you! Everyone knows that you love Mora, but we also know that you made your fortune through honest means, as opposed to scamming people.
You seem to have entered into dangerous linguistic territory there. You should know that unless you have evidence to support your outlandish claims, I am legally entitled to sue you for slander. Of course, if you have any genuine grievances about the auction, the lots, or the process, please enlighten me as to where exactly I went wrong.
You... Fine. Yes, technically, it was all legitimate. Guess all I can do is take the loss. But if word gets out about today's auction, people are gonna start seeing you as a con artist. No one would dare do business with you after that. I guess what I'm saying is this really in your best interests?
Let me answer that with a question. You claim that you were willing to pay a high price because you trusted me. But is that really the full story?
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps it could be something to do with a lost item from the original Jade Chamber collection that has quietly made its way into your hands. When the Jade Chamber fell, countless valuable items from my collection plunged into the sea. I organized a salvage operation, but still there were many items unaccounted for. A considerable number of these made their way back into Liyue Harbor through means unbeknownst to me, and passed through several pairs of hands before finally ending up in yours, and those of your fellow bidders today.
Wait, you mean...
Yes. Everyone attending the auction today is in possession of lost property belonging to me. Or, to put it another way, they were all people who have had a taste of something that was mine and convinced themselves that I am someone to be taken advantage of. So I ask you again, your high bidding price, was it motivated by trust, or was it greed? The sole reason I held this auction is to reclaim my treasured possessions. If you are willing to return what is mine, I will refund all the money you spent in the auction today.
All right, fine. I guess I'll return it. You drive a hard bargain like everyone says. I'll go and get it right now. Please just wait here.
Despite his bad attitude, he cooperated in the end. Good for him. The issue was that all items of mine that have been fished out of the sea have changed hands numerous times already. Determining who has legal ownership would be an extremely long-winded process, with each item being assessed on a case-by-case basis. Even Yenfei says she'd have a difficult time defending my claims. I could have bought them back, but it's not in my nature to pay twice for the same thing. Least of all, when they'd be looking to make a handsome profit from my misfortune. After making some inquiries, I found them to be most uncooperative, so I had to resort to this auction to finally put a stop to all this nonsense. I just wanted my things back. Hardly an unusual sentiment. At most, a little childish, perhaps. Which is another reason why I didn't tell anybody about my plan. What do you think it was about the Jade Chamber that defeated Osile? Well, I think it was a combination of the weight and the energy it contains. Its great weight meant that it hit Osile with incredible force, while the energy within triggered that spectacular explosion. Every piece of the Jade Chamber, from the stone walls and wooden beams down to the smallest ornament, contributed to its total weight. But in the end, they became objects of merchants' greed. It's hard not to get a little irked thinking about it. Thank you for understanding. Now I've got one of my items back. Let me show you what makes it so special. The secrets of history shine through in the relics that survive. And this one now has the story of another age to tell.